Hey, good evening. My name is David. I use he, him pronouns, and I am running a session of Thirsty Sword Lesbians this evening. Thirsty Sword Lesbians is a game by April Kit Walsh. I hope I've got the name correct, as I'm not reading it from in front of me at the minute. It is a powered by the apocalypse game of action and romance, which is a kind of swashbuckling action and queer romance. Tonight, or for this run of it, we will be running in a world influenced and inspired by Greek mythology, though very much in the as I said last time, very much in the pop culture sense of the word. Do not expect accuracy, chronology to be in any way respected, because I can't keep that straight myself. So we will be gods and heroes can be brought in at any time, and we'll have some fun with those, hopefully. This game is being run as part of the Gauntlet gaming calendar. The Gauntlet is an online role-playing group that we meet up, we arrange games like this one through our calendar. We also have some number of podcasts. There is a monthly gaming zine called Codex available through the Patreon, and back issues are available through Drive-Thru RPG. You can find information on all that sort of stuff. I'll put a link to that down below to the website. It is gauntlet-rpg.com. So do check that out if you are interested in just seeing what's there, or in joining up with games. Do feel free to check all that out. I think that is all of my my initial spiel out of the way. So today, we are going to I'll ask in a second my players to introduce themselves, introduce their characters. We'll finish up our initial relationships from last time, and we'll get things started. So without further ado, I'm going to go through in character keeper order. Go, and if you'd like to introduce yourself first, and then tell us a little bit about who you will be playing today.
Hello, I'm Gerwin. I'm a player on the Gauntlet. I've been here roughly, I think it's close to 3 years now. Goodness, that seems like a long time. But a fun time nonetheless. I still keep on coming back, partially due to some of the great games and gamers I get to play with. Tonight I'm playing a character called Nymphadora. The name Nymphadora literally translates into bride's gift or bride gift. And in this case, I am literally a gift that was made for someone. I'm an automaton made by Hephaestus for his wife, his rather neglectful wife, Aphrodite. The problem was I looked a little bit too much like one of the Graces, and she took offense to that. And I've been kicked out of Olympus as a result. But that doesn't stop me, that doesn't change the fact that Nymphadora was made for Aphrodite. And she very much still carries on doing Aphrodite's work here in the world. For good or bad, she is a devoted.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much. And just to check in, I think it seems fairly. I think we had some discussion on this last time. So yeah, essentially, your devotion is to Aphrodite, and you have some tenets based on sort of the functions you and we have Stephen in now. Perfect timing. So yeah, I think that covers everything I need from that.
Would you like me to go through what my tenets are?
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah. Just so everyone is on board with them.
Okay, my tenets are: bring lovers together, help others fulfill their passions, and defend the honor of Aphrodite.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And hello, Stephen. Good to see you. So we just we've just sort of started going through player and character introductions. Are you okay to leap straight in with yours, or do you want me to come back to you in a moment?
One sec. I'm still just opening my
No, no worries.
spreadsheet.
That is absolutely fine. We can come back to you in a moment. That is not a problem. Yeah. Joe, I'll come to you next. If you would like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about who you'll be playing to today.
Thank you. My name's Joe. I use he, him pronouns. I've been wandering around the gauntlet and hanging around the gauntlet for a while now, a couple of years at least. But this, I've finally decided to dive in and start playing more games and hopefully running games soon. Tonight, I will be playing Katch. Katch's full name, or at least her full stage name, is Katchathonius, which roughly translates to of the Underworld. Katch is a spooky witch, so she has a connection to the unseen, which we'll talk about, I think, in a bit. But Katch is a helot. She was born of the serving class of Sparta, and that's how she's lived most of her life. But from a very early age, it was obvious that she has a connection with the unseen. So her parents worked very hard to hide that, because people who have precognitive powers and are also attached to the slave class generally don't do well. So her parents were like, let's not let people know this. She eventually left Sparta and has hooked up with this group. We haven't quite decided how that happened yet. Don't know if we are going to. Yeah, what else do we need to know about Katch? She is a Gothic theater nerd. She is obsessed with the theater. The fact that we're also pirates is something that she tends to forget about at times. She sometimes needs to be reminded, like, yes, we also have this side hustle. She's constantly thinking of new ways to do certain scenes, to do certain ideas. She's constantly bugging Sappho with her ideas for the new plays, most of which Sappho probably rejects because I don't really figure out how I can't figure out a way that we can decapitate 20 people on stage at the same time. That seems like a bit much. Yeah. And she is awkward AF.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I will actually ask you now a little bit about, how do you see that's a terrible way of phrasing it, but anyway, I will go back to it. How do you see the unseen? What's your sort of idea of that?
The literal answer to that question is that she sees the unseen usually in smoke. They usually appear as figures in smoke, or she'll hear them speaking through fire and smoke. As far as she can tell, and whether this is true or not is up for debate, but her point of view is that these are spirits from the other world who have not been heard in their life. They are the people who try and speak their truth, but their truth is drowned out in the sort of societal truth, the greater truth. So they're the Greek chorus that nobody listens to.
Nice. That's cool. I like that a lot. Awesome. Yeah, that sounds perfect. Cool. Thank you very much. And I will come next to Rhode. To Diana, I should say. Sorry, it's reading names off of the screen. If you would like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about who you're playing tonight.
Hello, everybody. I go by Diana Moon online. I use she, her pronouns. I am a video game and RPG writer slash editor slash cultural consultant. So you've probably seen some of my work in Girl Underground, The Lost Road, more recently Starfinder's Alien Archives 4, where I did 3 aliens in that book. And then I have some upcoming stuff that unfortunately are NDA'd still. The other thing being that I was a cultural consultant for Far Cry 6, which will be coming out hopefully in the next couple of months. But you can find me on Twitter mostly at Diana Moon, and I will be playing Rhode, who is a trickster, she, they, and I'm trying to remember, even though I just read everything, my character went right out of my head. She has a mercurial demeanor and looks, never quite looking at the same in each encounter, tends to kind of wear the clothes that is needed for the particular play. She's also kind of she's not the leader, but she is the face of the group since she can uh, look various ways. She's the one that usually is talking to like either the legitimate places where we're play acting at, or right before we're about to like trick a whole entire ship into taking all their things. Hooded clothes, and has a venomous sword. It looks like a decorative play sword, but the metal was forged with poisonous elements, so she never has to worry about repoisoning it. Um, she doesn't do quite well with feelings. She grew up an orphan. No one technically knows her origins. That seems to be typical in most Greek mythologies. Like, oh, where are you from? Who knows? Doesn't mean she's a demigod or anything, but she might have come from from a place very much unlike here in the Greek world. But she does kind of fit in, has similar colorings enough to pass, but doesn't seem to trust anybody. Everybody lies and everybody has an agenda, and so she just assumes that everybody does have an agenda. Although, based on last session's quickly learning, maybe Berenice, I think is how. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Might be actually the only innocent one.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And yeah, last but not least, Stephen, if you would like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit
Yeah,
about.
hi there. I'm Stephen, he, him, and I'm playing Berenice. On the subject of demigods in character creation, we decided that I was in fact my mom hooked up with Aphrodite a while back and became pregnant with me. But I am the seeker. I am the daughter. I am the runaway daughter of the Spartan general. What would Coronis? I think was what we decided her name was.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yes. I believe in the good Spartan values of honor and combat, and we'll see how that changes. Let's see. Looking at the sheet here, yes. All right. Katch is the new weak-limbed one I must throw into combat in order to toughen up.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, cool. So thank you very much, everyone.
I mean, Rhode can still. She talks a little bit too much. I'm sure when she gets punched a few times, not by me, but by other people, will be she'll be able to handle herself a bit better.
Excellent. Yeah. So we where we got to last time, we had started putting together some of the initial establishing initial relationships between some of the characters. We still have some questions unanswered to go through. So we're going to pick up with that again. I'm going to remind myself where these questions are, and then I will. So these questions. They're not on the character sheets, unfortunately. I should have put them into the keeper, but didn't. So there we go. The questions are in the handouts spreadsheet. That's a spreadsheet in a PDF, and I will actually just quickly put the link to that in case you don't have it. No, that's playbooks. There we go. So just put a link to that in the chat there. On page, as I make it by mine, it is on page 9, relationships worksheet. It says anyway, and it has on there the sort of 3 questions you might expect to see from a PBTA playbook. I was taking notes on this last time, but I don't have the specifics of which questions had and hadn't been asked. So I think I'm just going to go back around in Couchkeeper order again, and starting off with Nymphadora. Do you wish to ask one of your relationship questions that you didn't last time? And as ever, you can, if you have in mind a specific character you want, you feel free to ask it to them directly, or feel free to fill it in with them directly, or if you want to solicit for an answer, that is also cool. So yeah.
Okay. Who do you look out for when? Sorry, who looks out for you even when you don't look out for yourself? Have I asked that one already?
Don't think so. I could be wrong on that front, but I don't believe so.
Yeah, no, that's right. Because out of the 3 you're on there, that's the one I didn't. Sorry, I was having to remind myself.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
That's fine. That's fine. It has been. Well, I was going to say it has both been a week and it has been a week. So.
Yes. So yes, who looks out for you even when you don't look out for yourself? I was wondering whether Katch would actually have that.
Go ahead.
I am not familiar with terra firma.
Yes.
There are so many little things that I don't understand and don't.
And I'm very familiar with terra firma. So yes, I think I definitely fill that role.
Brilliant.
Awesome. Cool. So thank you. Berenice, do you wish to ask another of your relationship questions?
I've asked all 3 now.
No, sorry, that was Berenice.
Oh, Berenice. Oh, I'm
Sorry,
Yeah,
that's okay.
I still had 2 left, and I'll throw out the first one. Which reminds you of home?
I'm kind of the obvious answer for that one. I don't know if you want to go with the obvious.
That's fine with me.
Okay.
Um,
I assume that home in this case is Sparta.
yeah.
Yeah. I think I spend a fair amount of time acting in a servant role. So I think that's I would imagine that's very familiar to you.
Of course.
Awesome. Thank you. And Katch, if you would like to ask one of your questions.
I would love to. Whom have the unseen warned you about? I have some ideas for this, but is there anyone in particular that jumps out at?
Interesting if it was my character.
I was thinking that too.
Nice.
I think at least part of that warning is don't know. She's a heartbreaker. Don't. Don't. Nope.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, because we established last session with Nymphadora that my whole thing is like, I don't fall in love. Like this is just a means for like the night or the situation kind of thing. And Nymphadora totally believes that no, I can fall in love. I just haven't found the right one yet. So yeah. I think it's a little bit of that and of like my unknown origins. That people sometimes, if they realize that, it's like, oh, because I feel like, especially in like in this time, where you come from is very important. like if you're Spartan or not, and like if you come from the home of the philosophers and everything. So I can't like, yeah, I could say where I grew up, but that's not where I come from. So I think like that would put people uneasy. It's like, oh well, then are you like an insurgent or something?
Yeah, cool. That sounds good. Thank you very much. And yeah, Rhode, did you have another of your questions that you wanted to fill out?
Yeah, I think I have the last one. Who has been the worst victim of your trickery? So I think that leads to just being Katch. So I'm curious on what kind of trickery that would be.
I think so. Worst villain or worst victim of your trickery. Because being from where I'm from, obviously I had a pretty sheltered upbringing. So I think for a very long time you had me convinced that certain customs were common where we traveled, but they're actually not. So
Yeah.
I think for a very long time I wore strings of garlic around my neck.
Yeah, I love that. Just like, oh yeah, we're coming, like, cause yeah, I technically, since I am the face and everything, I would have a little, at least like, what's the word? Like, surface knowledge of like wherever area we're going into, and be like, and would just throw it out as fact. And those who know that I'm bullshitting, and those who don't, just believe in it.
And I in the past have always believed it, and will probably believe it at least a few more times before the joke gets old.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of like maybe similar with how like I'm starting to realize, oh, maybe I need to um interact with Katch the same way I need to interact with Berenice. Is like they're a little naive in certain things because maybe I got you into trouble. Like whatever I said, like you offended someone where we were at, and that's why I was like, okay, but it's still too easy, so I still can't help myself.
Perfect. Yeah, that sounds good. So I'm going to just quickly run back over. I know Nymphadora, you said you are content with all of your questions. Yeah, that's cool. Berenice, did you have had you completed all of your questions now as well, or did you have one remaining?
No, I also had who is your model for local customs? Hello?
Oh, sorry, we were waiting to see whether you offer that to someone or if you were waiting for us to pick it up.
I was waiting to see if anyone wanted to pick that up. Sorry.
I would say Nymphadora isn't. Nymphadora is very much a fish out of water, so probably be the worst person to take things up from.
Okay,
like that.
we're all out fish out of water then.
I think, I mean, based on what we just did with Katch, I might be the most obvious for that.
I wasn't sure if I could give it to more than one person.
That's what I was unsure about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know depending on some PBTA games.
Yeah, it's not really it's not a problem if you do. We'll build out like links to everyone. I think if it seems like the obvious answer to the question, then I think that's not a problem. We'll go over the actual strings and stuff in a second. But yeah, if you think that Rhode is probably the person who most fulfills that, and from the sounds of it, they probably are, then yeah, that's cool.
Yep, that works for me then.
Yeah. So, Katch, do you? Yeah. Well, if you want to, I think at this point, if you want to ask your two remaining questions, that's cool. So I think Rhode had also done all of theirs as well. But yeah, if you'd like to go ahead.
Absolutely. Who thinks you're not all that weird? I think I'd like to offer that to Nymphadora.
Yeah, I was gonna take that if it came up.
Oh, you see ghosts sometimes. Oh. And who is your touchstone for what normal is? I really think this is Berenice.
Of course, I am superior in normalcy as in all things.
Exactly.
She is great normal, the best normal.
It's the best normal.
Perfect. That's great. So the only thing that we have to do now, in terms of like that relationship stuff, is you will all give a number of strings to each other character, depending on how much influence. Try and say this right way around first time. Depending on how much influence you think they have over you. So you can give out either 0, 1, or 2 strings to each other player. I think last time I played this, we had that as basically you have A0, A1, and A2. But I think I'm just going to say feel free to give any number between 0 and 2. It's a little ambiguous in the way that it's written at the moment. So yeah, I will just go through. Nymphadora, if you would like to say how many strings you're giving to each of the other players.
I'm going to give everyone 2 strings.
Cool. So yeah, everyone feel free to take 2 strings over Nymphadora to start with.
Sorry to jump in here, just quick clarification. So I have 2 strings on Nymphadora, or Nymphadora has 2 strings on me?
You have 2 strings on Nymphadora, that's right. In general, I think the way this one is set up, yeah, you put down the strings that you have over someone else. It always gets confusing if you try and record it both ways, because the numbers always fall out of sync within 5 minutes. So it's no worries. Cool. Berenice, if you would like to give out any strings to the other characters as you see fit. As I said, you obviously can be a variable number per person as well.
Well, I believe that I should give Rhodes 2 strings. She is, after all, my guide in this world. And plus, she also needs my protection.
Of course.
Oh, Katch. I mean, Katch is, in the end, a servant. She can take 1 string. And I don't really see why I should care about Nymphadora. She does not seem that interested in me. I don't see any need to take interest in her.
Cool, thank you very much. And Katch, if you would like to hand out your strings as you see fit.
Yes. I am going to go the 210 route. Berenice has 2 strings on me. She is certainly the one who I trust more than anyone. Nymphadora gets 1 string. She and I we're all fish out of water, but I think she and I, in our minds anyway, we're the most fish out of water. No, I take it back. I actually am going to go ahead and give 1 string to Rhode. Because the fact that the unseen is warning me against her sort of makes her a little fascinating to me.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And last but not least, Rhode, if you would like to hand out your strings.
I know it's almost the same in every different version of PBTA, but it's been a while since I've done a PBTA with the term being strings.
Yep.
Can you just briefly describe in this context what strings are?
Yeah, certainly. So broadly speaking, it's a kind of measure of that person having some influence over you in some way, whether that's because they actually hold power over you, you owe them a favor, you're just interested in them, you think they're cool. It can be any of a number of things, really. It's just that kind of a very abstract representation of the fact that they have some sort of pull over you in some way.
Okay. Let me double check here. I think, yeah, I think I only give one string to Berenice because their naivete worries me enough for me to care about them a little bit. And as much as I like Nymphadora, you're a construct. You can take care of yourself. I don't need to worry about that. And Katch, I don't think I've determined a full opinion on. They're amusing though.
Fair. That definitely sounds like the trickster to me. Perfect. So that is great. So what we'll do now is we'll take our first break in a second. Then we'll get into the action as soon as we come back. We'll take a. If we say when we do break, we'll say come back at just over 5 minutes. Come back at 22. Yeah, when we do, I'll give you your like initial setup. I think I'm interested in seeing certainly the aftermath of one of your performances, and what happens from there. So yeah, I'll see you all in just over 5 minutes. See you back at 22, and we'll pick things up there.
Alrighty.
Cool. Yeah. So I think where we will open our scene, open our game, is on the island of Ithaca. It is it's kind of evening time. The sun is most of the way down below the horizon now. Across the, I shouldn't have started that sentence, across the sea, and reflecting off the water. You're in a big, grand marble auditorium on the stage, as the great and the good and the somewhere in between of Ithaca are all in attendance as your play comes into its final moments. So I'm going to. I have a couple of questions. What I will do is I will check. I will give you the questions I'm going to ask you, and then just give them to each of you, and then I'll come back around again. Just give you a couple of moments to give it some thought. Nymphadora, I'm going to ask you. That both of your questions are going to be focused on the play itself. What is like the theme of the play that you are have been performing? And like, is it a tragedy or comedy as well? If you want to give that, and I'll also ask you to then, subsequent to that as well, say who is the hero of this play, whether that be a specific named character or just a kind of archetypal, role. Either is good. Feel free to play about with that. And which member of your crew is playing them? So I'll give you a moment to think over those.
Oh no, I've got the answer to that. If we're on Ithaca,
then feel free. Yep.
We have to actually be telling the story of what happened to Penelope while Odysseus was away on the Odyssey.
Cool.
And it's a comedy about all the actual suitors and how terrible all these men were.
Brilliant.
And I think we got Berenice playing Penelope.
Cool. That sounds good. Yeah, Berenice. The question I have for you is, what is something here, and that whether that be a thing, an object, a person, or anything else, that several and here I mean as in like on the island or in the audience even, that everyone in the crew, or several people in the crew at least, covet. What thing do people here want, and who is the primary antagonist of this play and who plays them? Again, I can give you a moment and go and come back if you would like.
And you said we were on Ithaca?
That's right. Yep.
Cool. Yeah, if you give me a moment.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. Cool. So, Katch, the questions that I have for you are what unknown threat is present here on Ithaca, or in the audience, or nearby, and who plays like the primary love interest? Well, who is and who plays the primary love interest in this play? Again, I can give you a moment on that if you'd like.
Yep. I'm okay. I'll answer the second question first.
Yep.
The primary love interest is this figure of fun, this sloppy drunk, completely clueless character who is a veilly thinned reference to somebody who actually in Ithaca politics. And in a move that has probably not made her very happy, that character is being played by Gloria. And the first question, the unseen threat is a Greek mythical monster. I'm not sure which one yet, but there's a monster either hiding nearby the theater or in the theater disguised as a human.
Cool. I like it. That will, I'm sure, not turn up to about you. Perfect. Yeah. So, Rhode, the questions that I have for you are which god features in this play, and again, who plays them, and who in the audience draws the most attention or seems the most important, or a significant figure who is in the audience to this play. So yeah, again, I can if you want to answer straight away, you can, or I can go back to Berenice.
Yeah, I don't want to use an obvious god, so I need to
No
go through my
worries.
Rolodex of gods again.
Sure thing. Yeah, Berenice. So just to repeat the questions for as much my benefit as anything else. So yeah, what is something here that several people on the crew covet, and who is the primary antagonist of this play, and who plays them?
Yeah, I think that it's a map to Odysseus's lost treasure that is unwittingly being worn by the king's mistress. It's sewn into a toga. She doesn't know that. She thinks it's just everyone thinks it's just a design.
Perfect.
Can I jump in for a second? Yeah, it's except everybody thinks it's a design except for the audience. It is very obviously telegraphed to the audience this is a map, and so every time she turns around to like show off her dress, yes, everybody's like, "Oh, girl."
Perfect. Yeah, awesome. That's great. And yeah, who is the primary antagonist of this piece, and who's in that role?
A dreadful Spartan general that goes by the Raven, who is a very thinly veiled pastiche of my mother. Thinly veiled, not pastiche. What's the word?
Yeah.
A kind of mocking portrait. I'm forgetting the word.
Yeah.
Satire.
No, the word I'm thinking of is usually used to refer to drawn portraits.
Oh, caricature.
Yes, a very thinly veiled caricature of my mother. Yeah, and I'll say it's Nymphadora playing her.
Cool. Great. And yes, so I will come back around Rhode. So again, just for the again, my own reference really. Yeah, who's kind of the most significant or most interesting member of the figure in the audience, and which god features in the play and who plays them?
To be very like on the nose, because like how they always said, like with Shakespeare at the time, is like everything was like done, quote unquote, dumbed down for everybody to understand. So the god portrayed is Momus, who is the god of satire, mockery, poets, writers, blame, and criticism, which seems to be a theme going on
Yeah.
in our particular version of what's going on. And I think I don't have a name for them, but the one in the audience is that's drawing the most attention. It seems to be the one that's laughing the most, and it's like one of the more of the richer families that technically this would also, like, this whole play would also be a mockery of, but they're just like you're not sure if they're laughing because they don't get it and they think it's funny, or they're laughing because they know it's about them and they're gonna do something after the fact.
Awesome. Perfect. Maybe the maybe the heir to the throne, or heir to the island. However, yeah, no, heir to the throne probably. They did do kings. Awesome.
When we say heir to the throne, are we actually talking about Telemachus?
Could well be. Could well be. Yeah, I think I don't. I think I think maybe Odysseus is not actually here, or is not king. I think, but yeah, I definitely someone in.
I forget what year we're setting this in.
we're largely not. We can both have a play about like the tragedy of Odysseus and also have Odysseus still being alive and well.
Okay.
That is perfectly fine. But yeah, I think in fact maybe if we say Telemachus is the king, and it is Telemachus's firstborn, is the one who seems to be inordinately amused by the perfect. Yeah, so this play is sort of you're getting towards like the climax of the play. So we have this big scene going on, with the sort of the final confession between Penelope and this drunkard. The god Momus is watching on. There has been some business with the General Raven, has been thwarted in whatever wicked plans they had. So yeah, and I think I am interested in just I think I would just like to see a bit of either. We do not have to. Is it? I don't know if it's just because I'm moving around too much. Sorry, I just seen that message. If that is yeah, so I think I'd like to just get those. Not necessarily the actual play itself, but I'd like to see kind of see just the four of you in the aftermath of this play, or as this play winds down, where you are and what you're up to. So I will ask first this time. Yeah, so Nymphadora, you are playing the General Raven. What sort of sticky end have you come to in this play, and how does that look?
Admiral Raven, General Raven is there. It has the Greek helmet, but has a huge raven wings coming off, black wings coming off the top, and it's really over the top, elaborate. It looks absolutely terrible, but has the mask coming down in front of it that we hold on these sticks when we do it all, because this is Greek theatre. And I get I get into a fight with Penelope atop the cliffs and get thrown over, and basically fall off the stage onto a pile of straw at the back as I'm thrown from the cliffs itself. As there's a crash of thunder as they shake this tin sheet, and there's the cry of a raven, and they actually hold up a stuffed raven and basically make it look like it's flying off into the distance. So I get turned into a bird.
Awesome.
I think as Berenice is coming off stage, now I still do not quite understand the ending. I do not believe my mother has ever been or is a bird.
Well, from how you've described her to me, she always sounded like a bit of crow.
I believe the word you are looking for is metaphor. It is a meta, but for what I don't know. I did not write this.
Do we all look to Rhode at this point?
Yeah, I think Rhode is like just no one ever sees them change. They just suddenly are in their different outfits. So they're now in the outfit that would indicate like the narrator finishing off the play, and is about to step on stage and just rolls her eyes. Again, theater is about lying. You do this to trick the others into having feelings that they shouldn't be having anyways. So this way, there's some people who have a little empathy towards your mother when really they shouldn't. Now, excuse me. And I step in and like voice changes like to a very like almost deep baritone kind of voice as I do like a very Puck like narration of like of the end of this play, and a little bit of like wink wink nod nod to like to the general that's in the audience, and then the other one that was laughing so much, and the usual like if you like us give us food kind of spiel, as I take like a deep bow in this like weird type of outfit I'm wearing.
Yeah, awesome. And I think Gloria is pulling like they've obviously got like a pillow stuffed down their tunic to give them the impression of a beer gut, and they have and I think she just pulls this out and just shoves it into Katch's face, and says, honestly, I don't know why I agreed to endure this humiliation. This really is one of the worst plays Sappho has written, and certainly her casting is abysmal.
Oh, I don't know. I think you're very, very convincing.
And she raises an eyebrow and says, "Are you trying to be funny, girl?"
No, I'm usually not. But people tend to laugh at what I say anyway. It's very confusing. I need to get stuff for the last scene. Hang on.
Yeah, and she just looks exasperated as she sort of takes a drink, and I think as and she's sort of going to go as well to kind of get changed out of her quite ridiculous costume, and into something a little more flattering. And I think as the play comes to a close and stuff comes around, the young man who was in the audience his is going to it's going to kind of come up. He's like I said, he's obviously dressed well, and is still smiling as he sort of makes his way backstage, and says, "Well, he will actually. He won't properly come like into the actual like changing area of behind the stage, but he will sort of come into the sort of where the props and stuff cut and say, well, ladies, that was certainly a fine performance tonight. I just wish to come and pay my my respects to all for the magnificent display tonight."
Is all you'll be paying us with?
Oh, I'm sure we can come up with a more tangible gift as well.
Excellent. Well, we do love to hear from our fans, and you seem to have been one of the biggest ones out there.
I do enjoy a good comedy at the best of times, and well, this was a most daring performance to bring the romance of my grandparents to this venue. Daring.
Well, we figured nobody inside of Ithaca would ever dare besmirch the legend that is of your family. Luckily, none of us are from Ithaca.
My dear father may have a slightly less rosy view of things, but well, his new woman has almost certainly kept him more than distracted from the play itself. So I think you have nothing to fear on that front.
Oh, I wasn't fearing anything. And they just kind of smile, like just staring him down.
Awesome. This I'm going to do you think you're trying to entice him here?
I think so, yeah.
Yep, cool. So to entice someone, which is when you appeal to someone's physical or romantic sensibilities, roll with heart.
Oh no, what is my heart? Oh no, what did I do?
Or if you think you have something else that is better suited, I do need to familiarize myself with everyone's moves still, but
let me double check it. I'm not lying, I'm not afraid, so that doesn't work. I'm just double checking.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it would be entice. I can't think of anything else that would be at the moment. I'm not
Yep.
trying to figure them out or anything. I'm just like, they're obviously trying to say something to worry us, and it's not working. So yeah, so 2d6, correct?
Yep, sure thing.
All right. Oh Jesus, that's a 1 with my -1.
Is there an aid move in this game?
There. Oh, I'm trying to think. I think there is a. Sorry, bear with me. I think that you can spend a string. Yeah, you can spend a string with them to give them a +1, but you can only spend 1 string to do so.
Yeah, and that's not really going to help in this case.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah,
At least I gain experience.
you do indeed gain a point of experience, and I think he is. I think he is going to smile at you, and he will lean in a little closer to you, not in a creepy way, but just and lower his voice, and they say, I certainly see that you seem fearless, and it is true, perhaps, and I'm sure there is nothing that you need fear. However, you should be aware that my father is due to entertain Admiral Coronis here on the island. I imagine she will be arriving soon. So if you wished to avoid her arrival, I suggest you leave soon.
It has been noted. I appreciate you letting us know ahead of time.
That's quite right. As I say, I found this play most entertaining. Some of the others who featured in it may be less happy. And he will give another grin, but he will toss down sort of a small pouch of coin. There's probably like a little offering plate type setup for this such an occasion, and he will head off out, and you definitely get that feeling that he is. He doesn't seem to bear you any particular malice. He is just he's clearly just interested to see what happens.
Yeah, I think I take that and I just think, oh, he must. I'm trying to think of saying this in a way that would make sense in the Greek world instead of doing a modern phrase. He must eat grapes from the other end as the excuse of why my enticement didn't work. And then I'll go into where everybody else is undressing and such, and yeah, give warning about the admiral, because that is something we do worry about.
Oh, that is excellent. Did you hear that, Berenice? Your mother is coming. She must be so happy to see you.
Nymphadora, no.
Have I misspoke? I have said something wrong.
Yes, well, I suppose it was only so long we could go before she took notice of my absence, which I'm pretty certain we've established before in last session. She has not. She is following us for completely different reasons.
Yes. Which makes it funnier.
I suppose if things come to blows, then we shall have to test. Then I shall have to test myself against her.
Well, I can attempt to impersonate you again, but I can't seem to get that height. You know.
Oh, I have
Yes,
an
I'm
idea for
sorry,
that.
Rhode. It is my fault that I do not bear your dwarfish physique.
I have an idea for that. It involves, we have to find an octopus though.
No octopus.
But
No
Does every-
octopus.
why does everyone always say no octopus?
You will not release the Kraken.
I think like Rhode does give like a bit of a not of a glare, but like just like a like why am I being nice to you kind of look towards Berenice.
Berenice is not incorrect, though. You have different standing than she does.
Well, yes,
You're-
some of us did
you're
not
thinking-
have the pleasure of having a good upbringing.
Oh, I do not say that to be discourteous. I say it, you are both beautiful in different ways, but not the same way. Sorry, can you hear the drumming going on in the background?
No, actually.
My Romanian next door neighbours have decided now's the time to get out the drum kit. But you two look nothing alike. I
But
mean,
you know my skill.
oh, you are skilled. But Berenice look so much like her mother. And if you had that roll down pat, I would not have played her mother tonight. I'm going to stop for a second, and there's the sound of clockwork going on. I turn around to look at Berenice. Nike, you do look an awful lot like your mother. Who is dining with the king tonight?
Yes, you are quite apt at stating facts, Nymphadora. Did you have anything else you wish to say? If you have any other facts you wish to declare, feel free.
What if your mother was to arrive early at the party?
Oh,
Well,
are
I
you?
hardly see how we are going to predict whether or not she will arrive early, Nymphadora.
Are you
Oh.
thinking? Are you? And then we switch, and then while he's distracted, we break in to the. Are you? Is that? That's a great
not going
idea.
We're not going to actually take his advice and leave early.
Oh, no, not at all. That would be counter to our interests. But your mother is coming tonight, Berenice. That would seem a providence in motion. It is an opportunity for us, surely. And there's the click, click, click of the clockwork as I turn around to look at Katch. Yes, I mean that exactly.
Oh.
I mean, and
Let's get ready.
my head turns again, and I look at the General Raven costume hanging on the actual mannequin in the corner. We even have a costume.
We're either going to have to take off those wings or make them a lot bigger.
I will draw my sword and basically chop off both the wings.
Off with the wings. Right. There we go.
And as I draw my sword, there's a shower of rose petals and swan feathers and a scent of rose in the air.
I go get a broom. Always with the flower petals and swan feathers.
It is not by choice. Rhode, what do you think? Is this plan
It would
practical.
help if we could delay the real crow.
I can
a
do
little
that.
bit. But yes, I think this is plausible.
I might be able to help with that.
And what kind of help do you think you can give? And she says this sincerely, like just like
Not so much me, but my friends.
your friends.
Yes. I mean, I don't know exactly how they'll be able to help, but I can ask.
As long as you think they're trustworthy not to sell us out, then sounds reasonable.
I could definitely promise you my friends have no reason to sell us out.
This time.
Why? Mostly at all, I think. Certainly not to the general or the king. This king in this world.
Well, that's good enough for me then.
How do you mean to do this?
Oh, hang on, and I look for. Oh, perfect. I go and I grab one of the stage lights, and I bring that back. Okay, I'm going to need some space, and I'm going to need some herbs.
Good herbs or not so good herbs?
Oh, if you can find me well, it depends on your definition of a good herb, I suppose. If you can find me some really good herbs, that will help.
Berenice goes storming off into the underbrush, just ran wildly slashing at plants with her spear.
I had better go and see what is wrong with her. I will be back momentarily. And there's a whole Robocop thing of the head turns first, then the upper body, and then the lower body.
Oh, I miss old Robocop.
And I start setting up a burning brazier, giving off a lot of smoke, adding the herbs that people contribute, and I'm going to try and commune with the unseen.
Perfect. Yeah, let's see that happen.
Yes.
When you commune with when you perform a ritual to commune with the unseen, give a dangerous unseen a string on you and roll with spirit. So, what do you think is the spirit that you initially contact, the one that you sort of is going to broker this deal for you, as it were?
My first thought is an ancient Spartan hero.
Cool. Yeah. I think you kind of let's just go straight ahead, and we'll make it King Leonidas.
Yes.
Will
May as well go right for the top.
Exactly. Will you can start to see the face of this bearded warrior coming through the smoke. And if you would like to make a roll with spirit.
Absolutely. Let's see how this goes. Well, it's better than Snake Eyes. That is a 4. I'm sure this won't be a problem at all.
Excellent. So, the just double checking. No, okay, cool. So, and I think the ghostly figure will emerge in the smoke and say, "Who are you, and why have you called me here? What's going on?"
Greetings, great king. I have requested your presence, for we have need of your aid.
My aid? Why would I help you, peasant?
Well, that is an excellent question that I did not think about before I summoned you. Anybody? I sort of gestured to everybody else in the room, like,
it's only at Rhode there, I think. Berenice and I have gone off.
And I think as this sort of smoke shifts and forms, the figure inside seems to be becoming more solid, and as the brazier sort of burns out and the smoke starts to disperse, and you do see an image of what certainly from the statues looks very much like King Leonidas in his prime stood there before you. Says,
"Oh,
what the?
Oh no,
great Zeus! I seem to have a body again," and he's going to kind of poke at his hand.
Yes. Well, definitely meant to do that. Totally part of my plan. I have bound you here to this earthly plane until you can help us. For I have plucked you from the underworld, and now you must obey me.
Obey you? I am a king. I obey no one, not even the gods themselves. He will kind of shake his fist at the sky. Now, if you'll excuse me, and he's going to march out of the backstage area.
I'll appear in one of the Spartan costumes that we have, obviously, with my sword out and go, "General, you are not going anywhere. We have a mission."
A mission? What nonsense is this you're talking about?
Clearly, we had to get the smartest of all generals here, and so we had to summon you. And we are on. She doesn't care. We're here for an assassination.
Excellent. So if you would like this is definitely, I think, your hitting your mask move at this stage. So if you would like to make that roll with wit.
Yeah. My wit is 1. Better than -1. Roll. God damn it. That's a 3. Because I keep rolling snake eyes.
And he'll say, "Assassination? What is this? I am no assassin. If there is someone to kill, I will kill them on the field of battle, as is right and proper. And you,
but you
whoever
are
you
a
are,
planner. Of course, you wouldn't do something as messy and cowardly as assassinating."
This whole situation seems most strange. And
I turn back to Katch and I'm like, do something.
And he at this point is going to draw his blade and say, he's clearly going to go towards making some sort of move towards you. But we will cut over to Berenice and Nymphadora briefly.
Oh yes, well, Berenice was going to collect some herbs.
Lady Berenice, you seem to be angry. Have I said something that has troubled you?
It is no trouble, Nymphadora. I am simply... my mother was the one who raised me and taught me in the art of combat, as all Spartan mothers do their daughters, but I do not know if I will be able to face her. And I am hitting on people are people. When I talk about home, I roll plus heart.
Awesome.
Brilliant.
Yep.
And all the way, wait, where's the roller?
If you go into
The world tab.
safety,
Here it
there's a
is.
link.
World, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a miss as well. Let me just double check that. Yes, that's a 5. And I think though this has a I forget, does this have a particular one? No,
No.
just
Yeah.
XPs, everybody. For failing.
Yeah, it's look forward to those advances, everyone. So yeah, I think as you are words, sorry, as you are talking, and as you are out here in sort of the undergrowth, you will just hear a sort of rustling in the slightly deeper into the undergrowth behind you. You know, the first sounds like an animal, and then you hear the hissing of a snake. In fact, the hissing of several snakes, a whole bunch of snakes, it sounds like. And we will leave things there. We'll take our next break. So we'll come back in about 5 minutes' time, and we'll pick up with the both of you. And yeah, so we will go back inside the tent, or inside the theater, and yeah, King Leonidas has drawn his blade and is waving it in the direction of both of you, Katch and Rhode, and says, "I don't know what the two of you are up to, but this is a rum business, and I'll have no part in it. I'll be leaving now, and if either of you try to stop me, I..."
Wait, hold on. We have someone else you need to speak to. And I grab a pitcher of water that I've had nearby to sort of, as for safety, bucket of water, pitcher of water, whatever. And I pour it on the coals so that I can get a bunch of steam. And I use that to summon. I'm using my friends in weird places move.
Yep, sure thing.
I am summoning my friend Justius, who is good at charming people, but is a spirit. So hence I need the smoke.
Sure thing. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. Yeah. Cool. So, oh, and also, I believe, Rhode as well. Just while I was just looking at the move. Yeah. So, Rhode, I think this probably counts for triggering your center of the web move, because it is when someone tries to get something from you or threaten you. So you can choose one to gain a string on Leonidas or cause him to lose a string on you, though he doesn't currently have one, to ask them a question from the figure out a person move, or to take +1 ongoing against them for the scene. So you can make a choice from that. But yes, I think Justice is going to appear in the Steam, and I think that yes, he will be able to calm down. He will be able to calm down Leonidas enough that he's not kind of overtly hostile. He's still a little suspicious and a little just generally confused about the whole thing, but as this other spirit appears, I think he is able to talk him down.
Yeah, I want to do, like, as that is happening and he's distracted, I want to do the figure out a person so I get to ask a question. So my question is, how can I get you to agree to our plan?
Yeah, so I think that when he's a bit calmer, if you essentially, if you kind of ask him as a favor to do this, and basically bow down and grovel a bit, then he will be more inclined to help you, rather than if you try and order him essentially, or get him to do it that way. He wants to be fawned over, basically. So that's probably what it will take to get him on side. You also, so, and I'll give you this as well, is that kind of, if you make him think that obviously, or not even make him think, you think he's sort of, well, he's been a bit suspicious, he is also quite like pleased at being back in the real world again. So you think that if you approach him that way, that sort of way, that's probably going to work better with him. And then I will quickly switch back over to the pair outside, as as I say, there is movement in the bushes, and a figure emerges. She is tall, has an aristocratic bearing, sort of a hard, more handsome features than beautiful. She's wearing a sort of very classic long white gown. Her hair is a mass of red serpents. As one of the Gorgons appears and says, so finally I have found the thieves. Yes.
I draw my
yeah.
spear. It seems that we have not made our introduction, milady.
I'm going to put my hand on the end of the spear and push it down slightly and step forward, friendly to the Gorgon. Greetings, child of Typhon, daughter of Enchida. You have looked for a thief? Has someone stolen something from you?
Many people have stolen many things from me over the years, but I look for something else. The so-called king of this land, his family, has in their possession something I would dearly like brought back to me.
Was it stolen from you?
It was stolen from my sister.
And she is here?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
And she is here? She
Yeah.
has come to claim it?
I think that the item in question has come into their possession, yes.
Ah, then they are not the thieves.
No, not the original.
May I ask what was stolen?
My sister's head.
You have my condolences. But Perseus is long gone.
Indeed, but I believe that some of his belongings passed into the hands of Odysseus.
That your sister's head is not something that would be shown publicly. You have my sympathy. You have my condolences. But what do you wish here? Do you wish blood, vengeance, or merely to set her to peace?
As I say, I wish it returned to me.
I'm trying to figure her out at the moment to see whether she's actually wanting, if she's answering truthfully to that or not.
Yep, certainly. So to figure someone out, you can roll with, I believe, sorry, I've gone to the wrong page. I'm just going to look in the PDF. To figure out a person, roll with wit.
Well, I have -1 wit, but thankfully I rolled an 8, so that's 7. A mixed beat.
So on a 7 to 9, you can ask 2 questions of them from the list, but they can ask one of you in return.
Okay. What is your feelings towards the family of Odysseus?
Ambivalent. She does not. She doesn't bear any specific malice to them, other than she clearly is not happy that they have her sister's head, but you also get the feeling that yeah, again, not really a big fan on the Greek kings and heroes, etc. in general. She certainly wouldn't be unhappy if their palace was burnt down and all of their creations rent asunder before them, etc., etc. But in a very hey, if it happens, it happens way, rather than that being a specific intent here.
Okay, and how could I get her to let us go and search for this rather than have her come up publicly or expose herself?
Yeah, she will recognize who and what you are. I think, and I'll probably ask you something related to that in a second. But she will ask you. She will agree to basically let you go and do this under your own power. If you swear an oath to on Aphrodite that you will do this for her.
I feel for your loss. Sorry, no, let me get the right phrase. I feel for your loss. It is a terrible thing, I am told, to lose a loved one. But you pose a risk to all who come here. And I've been deliberately standing in front of Berenice this entire time to try and block her view of the actual Gorgon, with me being a construct and her being flesh. Well, I hope she's flesh when I turn around anyway.
Cool. And I think given the what you've just said to her, I think, and it may be an obvious answer, it might not, but I think the question I'm going to ask you in return is, what do you love most?
I feel having a purpose. I don't think there's an actual connection, more a drive to actually fulfill.
Cool. Yes, and she will say, and as to your question, beautiful one, she says, turning to look over your shoulder at Berenice.
And I will step in front of her.
I am Stheno, eldest of the Gorgons. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
And I am, well, yeah, no, she'll just say, I am Berenice of Sparta. A pleasure to make yours. Just tell everyone who you are. That's the best way to stay hidden.
Very well. So, bring me my sister's head, and I shall consider it a great favor to me. Anything else you find in the horde of Odysseus, you may keep. I have no need for such trinkets, but you will bring my sister's head to me.
I swear on the good lady, the prima donna, that we will bring you your sister's head. But I worry that you will attract attention here that you will not find welcome. We have a ship in harbour where we can shelter you below deck, where others may not see you. You may have my cabin.
Thank you. I feel I have my own ways of keeping my presence a mystery, but your offer of hospitality is most kind. I shall await you in your chambers. And she kind of, with
I will look forward to it. And there's a slight upturn of the voice that's been very monotone, then almost as if it's a verbal smile.
excellent.
And can I roll entice, please?
You absolutely can, yeah.
Oh, damn it! That's a 5.
And I think I think she is going to she kind of smiles and you know, has very prominent fangs in there, and she says, "You are a very interesting specimen. I should so like to understand what makes you tick." And she is going to fade back into the undergrowth, and she's going to take a string on you.
I'm more than happy for her to. And the head turns around 180 degrees, and then the body actually rotates around after it. Lady Berenice, are you unharmed? Are you muted, Stephen?
I am unharmed. It takes more than a few words and pretty glances to harm me.
You have heard of what her sister's head is capable of. It seems the curse was not as widespread as one would have thought. I was concerned. I was worried her gaze would hurt you. You are unharmed? And I'll come over and literally lift up her arms and begin to actually check to make sure she's okay. And this is totally the wrong thing to do. This is against all sort of etiquette. This is just Nymphadora being Nymphadora.
I mean, are you trying to entice again?
Oh
Because
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I'm trying to get contact, but I'm probably going to piss you off in the process.
Yeah, I forget. Is there an interfere roll here? Remove?
Yeah, you can spend a string on me to give me -1.
Okay, well, do I spend it before or after?
You can
I think
spend
after.
it. You can spend it after if you wish. Yep,
Yeah.
that's right.
What's up with this dice roller tonight? You don't need to spend anything. That's a 4.
Okay, so I am going to well, I'm going to throw things over to Berenice. How do you respond to this?
Well, because one of my commandments is that no intimacy until marriage. I pull myself away and point my spear at you, Nymphadora. I do not allow things to touch me without my consent. And I do use specifically that word, unless that's too much for people.
No, that's fine. That is fine. My apologies. You are unharmed?
I am unharmed, Nymphadora. But, and I kind of shift the spear in my hands a bit, do not come near me again. And I do a regular human turn, 180, and like march away. And I am making a sacrifice. I am burning this bridge with Nymphadora, I think, to fulfill my commandment. So I'm giving myself a point of tradition, if that's okay.
That is absolutely fine. I'm also going to say, if you would, I think probably what makes most sense here, actually, you you can either I think you can either take back a string from Nymphadora if they have one over you, or if you want, you can ask a question from the figure out a. In fact, actually, you can if you want, because I think this has. Well, you didn't actually physically. Well, you didn't actually physically fight with them because you like drew your spear. If you want to ask one of your truths of heart and blade questions, you can, or just one of the regular figure out a person questions.
Sure. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm just getting
No
through
worries.
these.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you hope to get from me?
Ooh. I think she's off. You resemble your mother, both of them. And I think it is quite literally, I'm after your mother's love with you as a proxy. The person I was created for cast me out. And you're her daughter.
Yeah.
Nice. I guess what I'm going to ask on the back of that, do you feel that this rejection is enough to trigger stagger Nymphadora? This is stagger is, by the way, when you suffer a staggering physical or emotional blow. You don't have to if you don't wish, but do you think this reaches that yet, or?
Oh, definitely it does.
Yeah,
but
cool.
also at the same time, I think it's fair enough to say that I'm smitten with Berenice.
Yep, that is cool. So we'll run through. We will run through those quickly, and then we'll pop back over to the other two. So when you become smitten with somebody, you give them a string, and you have a question to answer, which will be on your Truths of Heart and Blade section of your character sheet. Berenice, you'll gain another string on Nymphadora. So for you, Nymphadora, the question is, how does pursuing them conflict with your devotion?
Well, my devotion is to defend the honor of Aphrodite. And very much it's going to be defending the honor of her daughter. And if you just remember back to the actual conversation before the Gorgon appeared, she was talking about actually fighting her mother, or facing her mother. So the way I see it, she's setting herself up in opposition to both her parents.
Cool. Excellent. And for stagger, this depends on how many. Basically, it's a bit like the take a powerful blow move in Masks, but it's not rolled. Basically the severity is determined by how many conditions you currently have. As you don't currently have any conditions marked. I should have been making people mark some conditions. I need to remember I'm still learning this game as well, so I'll throw out more at you next time. But your options are to lash out at somebody whose regard matters to you, provoke them to do something foolish or harmful, and take advantage of a string on them if you have one. You hesitate or stumble, and the opposition gains an opportunity. Probably not relevant at this stage. Could be, though, potentially, if you can think of a way it comes to bear. Or you grin and bear the blow, mark 2 conditions.
I think it's Berenice. Is walking away. You said earlier that you said earlier that you think you cannot face your mother. I think you're just scared to try.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes. I glance back. Perhaps you are right. And I am breaking one of my commandments, so I'm going to give myself the condition frightened.
No, I'm wrong. I basically draw my blade. I come in. I'm basically swinging for her. I'm gonna glance a few blows, and she's gonna parry me and basically stop me in my tracks. I'm gonna take that frightened condition for you.
So how does this work then?
Well, one of my abilities as a devoted is it's about self-sacrifice. So I have an ability that where it is when you may take on a condition that would be inflicted on another. When you do, mark XP, and you may only clear that condition by taking the associated destructive action. But I only get a -1 for it rather than a -2.
Cool. Okay.
So I think there's this back and forth, and it actually turns into quite an epic fight.
Yeah.
Where do we end up? If we fast forward...
Oh, and also I should note for Katch, I am also a spear lesbian, unlike the rest of you who are sword lesbians, just to clarify.
It's not the size, it's what you do with it.
I think that it ends with me having pinned you against the ground with my spear, like the butt of my spear, I think. And the two of us, well, me breathing hard, you just kind of laying there clicking.
Lovely.
And yeah, I think I will become enticed with you. So is there anywhere for me to mark that, or?
So yeah, smitten, not specifically, probably.
Smitten, yes.
Yeah, just in the notes is fine. I don't think there's, or like color the name in pink or something on the
okay.
thing. But yeah, no,
Steve,
that's cool.
Stephen, there's just one thing. Given that we've actually crossing swords at this point, if you wanted to try and figure out why I was doing this and figure me out, there are other options which come available when you cross swords with someone. Sorry, I just realized what the time is. We're running.
Yeah, no, that's okay. But yeah, so yeah, when you become smitten again, you will give Nymphadora a string on you, and you will answer this question, which is, which of your values, Berenice, does Nymphadora openly violate or decry?
Yeah, and I think,
and obviously feel free to...
She's too open with her emotions.
Yeah, that is fair, I think.
And I think that I'd rather not roll again because I already got some questions off of you.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I think I'm just good with kind of having this moment, because I don't think Berenice is going to act on it just yet, because I have a whole move for making things overcomplicated whenever I'm enticed with someone.
Excellent. See, you're not as weak as you think you are.
Perhaps. But we shall see how strong my mother is. And I think that like, from your perspective, yes, we'll see how strong you are compared to either of them, even though that wasn't my meeting.
Brilliant, thank you. Cool. So yeah, we'll pop back to our royal court in the backstage area. So yeah, I think you are both there with King Leonidas. So yeah, Rhode, you know the approach that's going to work best on this king. What do you?
Yeah.
What's your?
The thing is Rhode does not beg or grovel.
Hmm.
So they just like look at I wanted to say Katch. And you know the thing that you used to be, you need to do that now.
Right. And I immediately like get into the down on, actually down on both knees and sort of and bent down. I get into the I am a servant position. Great King Leonidas, I say from this bent over servant position. Great King Leonidas, please, your humble and unworthy servant begs for your attention. There is great need, and we only could we could think of none better to call back to this plane for help than you.
Well, I am, of course, the mightiest of all Greeks. He kind of flexes a bit. What, child, what is it that you need of me?
Quick rules question.
Yeah, no, go for it.
Could this be the move call on a toxic power?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. I think undead King Leonidas is absolutely a toxic power.
You say that you are the greatest and strongest of Greeks. We, your humble servants, say that you are the greatest and strongest of Greeks. But there is one who dares to claim that title for herself. She is a general. She claims to spring from your line, though there is no such proof. Her name is Admiral Coronius. And she comes to this very place, this very island, to treaty with this king as though she was the strongest of Greeks. We wish to set the record straight, but not just to speak the truth, but to speak the truth in such a way that no one for generations would dare to deny it. And so we turn to you for your counsel and wisdom on this, because quite frankly, we otherwise have no ideas.
Very well. And yeah, if you would like to roll with spirit, we'll see how that goes.
Love to. Oh, that is an 8.
An 8. Yeah. And he will say, very well. I will face this. So I just forgot the word though. Imposters. I will face this imposter and show them who is truly the mightiest of the Spartans. They should consider themselves honored to fall before a warrior like me. And he will kind of, slam his fist into his chest. And I think he will spin on his heel and head out of this backstage area. I'm going to ask you to mark a condition for me, as you do realize that you have just unleashed an undead king to go and engage in possibly mortal combat with the admiral.
Whoops. And I get to choose the condition.
Yeah, you can choose which one you think appropriate.
I think that would be guilty.
Yeah, cool.
I was just going to ask for advice, but apparently we've gotten a bit more than that.
Well, at least they'll keep things fun. Now we just have to make sure he doesn't try to attack our general.
Yes, where are they, by the way?
I'm not sure. I would think grabbing additional herbs wouldn't take so long with how efficient Berenice usually is.
Yes, I know. Hopefully they're not sword fighting somewhere.
No, I don't.
Can we actually have it at that point? There's a ching, 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 and there's actually a sound of sword fighting.
Yes.
And on the breeze like swan feathers and flower petals.
Yes, exactly.
I'll be just like, they're too logical to give into their base. Well, not emotions. That's not the word I want. Baser instincts than to just fight out in public.
We're talking about Nymphadora, not Berenice, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Should we start getting the costume ready?
I think I look like out in the direction of where the undead king went, and just like, I wonder what kind of damage he's gonna cause before the party. It's like, that sounds good. I'm sure the other two will come in eventually.
I wonder if Berenice could defeat him in combat.
How do you kill an undead, by the way? This is a little bit of new territory. This the same stabby stab?
Well, I'd have to ask. But
Yeah.
I don't think that went so well last time, so maybe we should just try the stabby first and see what happens.
I mean, I always wanted to see if my sword could poison the undead.
We might get a chance to find out.
Can you make into manifestate? That's not the word I want. Can you manifest good people too, or just the awful men?
Well, I don't have a lot of control over who I actually bring to talk to, and this is the first time I've actually ever brought someone. So maybe?
Interesting. I'll have to keep that in mind.
I've spoken to the Queen of the Amazons a few times. She's quite fun.
And I think with the Amazons, Rhode doesn't know who that is, but there's this weird sensation I should know who that is kind of thing. And I just nod politely yeah, as if I know who you're talking about. But yeah, I can't think of anything for this particular scene.
No worries. No worries. So I think, given we're just at 20 past now, I think that's probably where we'll call things for this evening. We seem to be we're at kind of a neat moment. Neat may not be quite the right word. We're not currently in the middle of something, so that's probably a good place to end things for tonight.
Yeah, it the scene ends with the ting ting sound of
yeah.
the swords. And there's flower petals and everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, next time we will come back. We will have our potentially our heist of the treasures of Odysseus and other fun shenanigans, I am sure. So thank you very much, everyone. That was a lot of fun. Thank you all.